All right, hey YouTube. It's Mike from Beautiful Day Garden, and I'm in Zone 6B in the Lehigh Valley of Eastern Pennsylvania. And welcome to today's episode. So this is the Monday. This is Labor Day, and we're enjoying Labor Day weekend. And for this episode, I got a little treat for you. We just got back from Lake George in upstate New York, and in the Adirondack region of New York State. And if you ever get a chance to head up to Lake George, it was really, it's a nice tourist town, and the lake is beautiful, and they have nice mountain. It was really taken with it. But that's where we stayed, and from there we went a little south to Glens Falls, New York. They had a nice farmer's market, and then we went to Sarotoga Springs Farmer's Market. So I have a little bit of footage on that for you today. So a little kind of, I'm throwing that in there, a little treat. And, just going up there to see what the local farmers there are doing, and they had some, I was pretty impressed with the vegetables they had, the produce they brought to the market, and really some high quality stuff, They had some other people growing, like honey and different things, and it was really, a nice thing to do, so.
Yep. And it's going to be under Gina. 15. So I think it's is what? Hello, how you doing?
Here I am. Let's get started. You can see I'm sitting in front of these string trellises, and this was one of the things that I'm going to continue next year. I'm going to expand a little bit upon. And as you can see, with the string trellises, what I've been doing is I've been trimming the branches, the stems that have been growing below the tomatoes as they develop. And that turned out to be a really good thing, because as you can see, it's really easy to see the tomatoes and the produce that I have, Number two is that it's kind of, I'm cleaning up as I go along. So the lower branches, they're really not needed, in the development of the plant, So they tend to be the plants, the leaves that get more diseased. So I'm taking them away, as we go throughout the season, and then it just makes the fall cleanup that much easier, So that's another thing I'm going to be doing today. Besides harvesting some of these, vegetables, I'm going to be doing my start again with my cleanup, you know. So the cleanup is just going to simply be, you know, every week, just do a little bit more cleanup. So kind of when I get to the end of the season, it's just going to make it that much easier, you know. So let's take a look around. Let's get started. All right. All right, so here we have a red cherry tomato plant, and as you can see, it's seen better days. So this is one of the plants where I'm going to probably get the final harvest today, and probably look to take this one down. As I just kind of look at the other tomato plants next door, you can see how they're really, you know, in their thriving mode. They're really, you know, doing quite well. So I think they probably have another few weeks or a month to them. Just kind of getting a little closer here. Let's see if we can see it. But we have, you know, the 4 stem technique, and where I'm cleaning off the branches on the lower part of the plant so I can see the produce. And I think that really worked out really well this year. So that's something I'm certainly going to look to do next year as well. All right then, so here I am in the a section of the garden with some of the tomatoes here, and you can see how things turned out. You know, we're really getting quite an abundance of tomatoes, and you can see my 4 stem technique, and how when I trim the branches from anything below the developing tomatoes, I trim the branches, and it just makes it that much easier to see and you know, harvest, you know. And then I'll leave the foliage, you know, more towards the top, and I think that really worked out, you know, quite well this year, you know. And that's certainly one thing I'm going to be doing, you know, for next year. All right, so just taking a look at this end of the garden here, we can see the echinacea. That really did well this year. The fennel, straight tomato plant. But here we have some of the fennel that looks like it's going to seed here. So I'm going to see if I can have some fun with it and, you know, harvest some seeds, you know, from this. And let's kind of see how things are here. Okay, the fennel plants are still kind of, you know, developing here. Let's just dig in here just a little bit. Let's see what we've got. The stems there. Okay. Yeah, here's some more. It looks like we're growing tall there and going to seed. Okay, let's see if I can, you know, get some of these seeds, and maybe who knows, maybe I can use them to grow some plants for next year. So I'm really happy with this season with the fennel. It's like I said before, it's my first time really growing it. Okay, so here we have the sun gold tomatoes, and we can see that we still have some really good production with the sun gold tomatoes. Now, one of the things you see down here is that as they fall off the vine, the 4x4 catches them so they don't run down the hill. Now, this is something I want to implement in a different section of the garden here, in this newer section, where you can see that what happens is, as these tomatoes fall off the vine, they just simply roll down the hill and they get caught, you know, all in the grass here. So what I want to do is to get a 4x4 beam going across here to catch the tomatoes as they roll down the hill. So that's going to be something I'm going to implement probably early next spring. All right, so just looking at this part of the garden here we have eggplant row, and it looks like they're really coming in nicely. So if we just take a little closer look, we can see some of the eggplant. Oh, that's ready to pick. I'm bringing that home. We got some other eggplants in various stages of, development, but really looks like it's coming along. This section here, we have some tomato rows, and you can see they're getting a little bushy up top there. I really didn't get to them for the past couple weeks. But the thing I want to bring to your attention here is you can see how on the bottom of the plant, it's just so much easier to see the tomatoes. You can see what's ripe, what's not. We can see what's ready to pick. And just makes it the 4-stem technique, just trimming the branches on the lower parts of the tomato plant. Just makes it so much easier to see. And this is something I'm definitely going to be implementing again, next year. So just kind of taking a look here, going through the garden. Yeah, we had some really good production, this year. And over here we have, a nice one. Nice mushroom basket tomato. Sure. And we've got plenty of green ones that'll be getting ripe in, I guess, the next couple weeks. So I'm really looking forward to harvesting them. But, just with the black clips here, you can see how it enabled me to, train the tomato vines to grow up the tomato cage here. And there we go. Towards the top of the plants, they're getting, pretty bushy. So this is the section here where I really didn't trim too much, and you could really kind of see how it kind of got a little bit out of control here, So over here we have a cucumber plant. I got to take that down today. Up here, some more tomato plants. Very nice. Yeah, I just didn't get to trimming all of them the way I did in the other part of the garden here. But there we go. Okay, so some of the plants here in their final stages. We can see this tomato plant got quite top heavy, leaning over. It's getting, pretty dry. So I'll be looking to take this one down today in my little garden maintenance. These tomato plants, still, thriving, doing quite well. Down here in front of that, we have a pepper plant. Pepper's really coming along. Over here, we got some bell peppers. In front of that, we have the some cucumbers. This, like I said before, this is my first year growing cucumbers, and you can see how it's one of the first plants to really dry up. So that's one of the things I'll be doing today, is to take this down, clearing the space, and just making my fall cleanup that much easier as the weeks go on. So scooting over here, we have a tomato plant, got quite top heavy, so it fell over. Next year I'm going to have to really tie these together somehow and make them more sturdy, so as they get top heavy they don't fall over. But live and learn. All right, so there you have it, another episode of Beautiful Day Garden. I hope you got something educational from this episode. As you can see, I went around cleaning up today, taking away some of the dead plants, and just kind of, my plan is to do a little bit each week now as we get into the fall, so as to make the end of the season that much easier to clean up. As you can see, we had some really great produce this year. Really happy with the way things went. I hope you enjoyed my little visit to the Adirondack region of upstate New York there, where we went to Glens Falls and visited a couple farmers markets in Sarotoga Springs and Glens Falls. I really enjoy talking to the farmers at the farmers market. I can get some little tips that I can bring back to my garden and implement. and they're the professionals, you know. So once again, thank you for joining me. Please click the like button, and I'll see you next episode. Take care.